excited though, because I know you have so much to like value to add and so much to share. It's just great.
That's the goal. All right, we'll let a few more people try to get on here. I just put it in our group again, so we'll see if more people jump on. If they do, but if not, then we have a recording, so it's all good. You know. Jamari, I sent you a message, buddy, by the way. Okay. All right, Alika, what's the shout outs for this week?
All right.
I don't know if there is any updates really this week.
Oh, yeah. Are there? Other than MCFA coming out soon, but
what's up?
I think that's coming out this week though.
Yeah.
But shout out. Everybody, turn it down. Wanted to give a shout out to Rokia and Danielle. They are killing it. They brought on a few new coaches, and also Rokia is leading 2 Team Cup teams right now. Like awesome. Like really jumping in and having calls, the whole bit. So she's ready to fire her boss pretty soon.
I want to recognize everyone on this team for all of their hard work and efforts that they put in, because I've seen a tremendous amount of volume and leadership and everything in this team. Like, I'm blown away with it already, just this week. Okay, so congratulations. And you know what? Shout out to Jamari too. Jamari down here. Hey, Jamari, can we see you, buddy? I like seeing faces. Oh, and Ty. Okay, well, shout out to you, because you have been engaging in our group so much, and I am beyond proud of you for that. Like that right there takes a lot. I'm proud of you for that one. Okay. All right, guys, this is Danielle. Danielle has completely changed me and changed my Beachbody stuff. Whenever I came in, I had Alika over here with my sidekick, and we were clueless cuties. That's what I call us. And then I joined you were with me then. Yeah, you were with me then. Then I joined Team Cup got assigned to some random girl, had no idea, wanted to get on this Zoom call. I'm like, all right, let's go. She took my business to another level just in 2 Zoom calls alone. And I've made Success Club literally a mandatory thing. It's a non-negotiable every single month. And rank advanced to diamond, and in that qual, rank advanced to 1 star, and in that qual, rank advanced to 2 star. So that's what Danielle's done for my business, and I want her to talk and give her the floor so she can introduce herself and share all the amazing things that she's done with her business and how she's helped other people lead their team too.
Well, thank you, Maddie. It's great to chat with y'all, and hopefully I'll try and keep it PG as much as I can. Sometimes when I get fired up, I do. I'll just warn you a little bit. You might want to put headphones on. Yeah. So, and if you can put your camera on, I love to see y'all's faces, because you guys have been crushing it, and I hope that I can bring some value. Well, I know I will bring you some value tonight, but just to give you guys a little bit of background of who I am and what my coach career has looked like, because I think that's important to know. You know, sometimes we see like, oh, they're speaking on a team call, they must like know it all. And honestly, I feel like a newbie coach all of the time. Like my coaches teach me stuff all of the time. And so the biggest thing I can say to you is always stay coachable. Listen to your leaders, ask them for help, but also be a leader yourself, be resourceful. So my team is lifetime 3-star diamond, hit Success Club 10. I've only missed 1 month actually in the past year, which was some life stuff happened last year. But really for the past 5 years, I've been hitting Success Club every single month. My team's grown to almost 600 in my downline. I've been on market council. I've done every Success Club trip the past 5 years. I mean, you name it. But what I really want you to know, because we all know as business owners that all the ups, there's going to be some downs. And not a lot of people like to say that, like expect failure, like you're gonna fail, you're going to drop the ball, there's going to be months where it sucks. And one of the things that I wanted to speak to tonight was branding you to find your career. I think someone's not muted, Maddie. I don't know. There they go. I wanted to talk about like branding you to build your crew, because when I started working with Maddie, she was really struggling with, how do I build a team? And it's the number one question I get. Y'all's teams are growing like wildfire, but maybe you're coming into this big team and like, I don't know how to get to that next level. I don't know how to not just have challengers. And so I want to share a little bit about me first, besides the Beachbody stuff. I'm a full-time architectural designer. I'm currently on furlough, and if it weren't for this business, I would not be getting paid right now. So please take this opportunity seriously, no matter what stage of life you're at, because I have a lot of girls on my team that are like, I love my corporate job, I'm never leaving. But the pandemic has obviously changed that for a lot of people. So take this seriously. I care not that much because I've failed a lot in my life in general. So it was really hard for me to get into architecture school. I had like over 20 rejection letters. I spent 6 years trying to get in while I saw all of these other people ahead of me. And I really believe that that has helped me in my business, because I'm in this 6 years this month as a coach. And I've seen many of my friends that have come into the business grow massive teams and do, like, I've never hit elite. I've missed premiere by 24 hours in literally one person. I've had massive failures in this business. And if I were to focus on those things and think like, well, I must suck at this, or this doesn't work for me. Instead, I like to look at the failures of like, how can I learn and grow? Because you just have to expect they're going to come in your business, right? There's people that maybe join you month one and you evolve the heck out of yourself and they don't evolve with you. And then they have excuses and they quit. Like in 2016, 90% of my team quit. And again, I went back to that journey with architecture and I said, well, what if I had quit? I would never be where I'm at. I wouldn't have my master's degree. I wouldn't have met all these people. I wouldn't have lived 4 different states. You know, it's always the journey. So the biggest thing I want to tell you is like, look at failures as a really good thing, because you're going to learn and grow from them. And that has led me to being a consistency queen. I don't know how to do a lot of things in this business. I am constantly learning, and I am constantly just looking to others to develop and grow myself, but I am consistent. You will never see me miss a day on social media. You will never see me miss a day of inviting. You will never see me miss a day of not engaging my challenge groups, because I so deeply believe that this opportunity and this community is life-changing. Because I look around and 95% of my friends now come from Beachbody. Like the bridal showers I go to, the baby showers I go to, the trips I take every year. My life is coordinated around Beachbody trips. And my friends make fun of me, but it's true. Like, it's given so much life back to me. It's made my world bigger. So I want you to think about what's going to make you different tonight from the 400,000 other coaches, right? Because we all have the same Shakeology. We all have the same MBF program. We all have the same trainers and the same bod, and all those things are the same. We all have the same. But when you come to my page, and what I'm going to teach you tonight is how to brand you so that you can build the team that you want to hang out with, that you want to go to Mexico with next year, that you want to show up at midnight and make Success Club a non-negotiable, because you know it's attached to your vision of your crew, of your team. Like, it's so much more fun to achieve goals with your team. It ain't fun to do it by yourself. Like, walking on stage and nobody in the audience from your team is not fun. I've done it. Like, don't do it. But when y'all can lock arms and be like, no, this is a vision we have together, and y'all have been doing that with Pursuing 2-Star Diamond, but all of y'all can be 2-star diamonds. You can be elite. You can be 5-star. It's not hard. It's just really taking a look at like, who am I and who do I want to build with? So if you guys were to go to my page today, you will not see any Beachbody terms. You will not see anything Shakeology, Beachbody On Demand, MBF, right? You'll see none of that stuff. Why? Because that's what everybody else has, right? The 400,000 other coaches all have those lingo, but the people you're trying to reach and work with, they don't care about Shakeology. They care about helping with cravings. They care about having chocolate for breakfast. They care about having a quick grab and go that's going to keep their nutrition in check. Do you see the difference? And this happens with new coaches a lot, and I'm constantly mentoring my new coaches because we are all excited about MBF. We love it. We're in there, or whatever program you're doing right now. Like, you love it, right? But to the outside world, it means nothing unless you do it your way. So things you will see on my page if you go there, which I don't get 300 plus likes on posts. Like, that's not my jam. My jam is I have people on my page that will enroll every month. So like, I really take the time to be authentically me and connect with people that are like me, because they don't leave my page. It is built organically from hard work and effort. So you will see I'm a Lily Pulitzer lover. Guys, you might not know what that brand is, but it's a brand I love. It's something that I wear. I'm a huge Eagles and Hokie football, like hardcore, travel everywhere for them. I can't wait till football's back. It's August, just saying. I talk a lot about student loan debt because I know that that's a pain point for my audience, and a lot of other people I want to work with also have that. And I know in the back of my head, coaching can help them offset that cost when I mentor them as coaches. I also talk about these two topics are brand new for me. So this has evolved over the 5-6 years. I didn't get to a point with my own personal growth journey until this year. But I started dating last year and I started therapy this year, which are very vulnerable topics to talk about, right? And you're like, I'm not ready to talk about that kind of stuff for my life. You don't have to. You're your own boss. But these are things that I know women I want to work with are wondering about, are talking behind the scenes, and nobody else is talking at the forefront. And so I've built my growth journey to not really care what anybody else thinks and talk in public about the things I know all my friends are talking about in private, struggling with. So what I want to do with y'all right now is come up with your 5 things. This is what I did with Maddie, because I went to her page, and no offense, I know the keto stuff is important to a lot of y'all, but I'm like, Maddie, think about it. If you have somebody that's watching you and they want to lose 20, 30 pounds, they're going to be scared to come to you and see you as the expert, right? Because who wants to come to somebody and say, I'm really struggling, I can't lose weight, this sucks, I'm really unmotivated. Like, that's a deep emotional conversation. So you have to build the know, love, and trust with somebody to be able to open that conversation. So I want you to make a list from 1 to 5. Hopefully you have a notebook right now. And I want y'all to think about, okay, if your friends would describe you, what would they think of when they think of you? Like, where you live, where you like to travel, your hobbies, your passions, like what advice do people always come to you for? What are the stores you like to shop at? Where do you spend your money? Like, what are 5 main things? And I'll give you an example, because Maddie's first thing was like, well, I'm a mom. And I'm like, cool. But a mom of a 2-month-old baby girl has way different struggles and strengths than a mom of an 18-year-old girl, right? Like, those are very different things. So I want y'all to pick 5 things that you feel passionate about, that you really love, that you can have topics about, but that are specific. Same thing, like maybe you have an animal, right? And you're like, I'm a dog mom, or I'm a dog dad. Cool, but like having a Chihuahua that's 10 years old is way different than a golden retriever puppy, right? You're dealing with different training, different food, different, I don't know, I don't have a dog, but all those things. So I want y'all to write your 5 things down, and if you want, you can share them in the chat. And obviously, Maddie and Alika can help you like really be specific, because I think new coaches are scared to be specific with these things, because they think, well, then who am I going to help, right? I'm too specific. But that's the thing. These 5 things are going to differentiate you from the other 400,000 coaches, because nobody knows how to talk about 2 girls that are whatever age Maddie's kids are, that are really struggling with maybe sleeping, or, you know, a lot of them aren't in school right now. So that's like a really big topic for parents that she can probably relate to. So think about the 5 things that you can give value on, that also, I didn't say this, that have nothing to do with health and nutrition or fitness. Why? Because that's already going to be part of things that y'all are sharing, right? It's going to be on your page. You're going to be sharing those things. But these 5 things now, you can pick one a day to tell a story about. Highly recommended if you didn't watch Kendra Hall's storytelling training from Summit, was really great. Because what you're going to do now is pick one small story a day to relate to one of these 5 things that you can share. So, for instance, today I talked about public speaking class and how I hated doing my final presentation in college when I went to Virginia Tech, and it like made my palms sweaty and my voice was cracking, and that was something that I was not cool with. But I related it back to the coaching opportunity, in that I love doing team calls now because I've done them for 5 years and I've said yes to every single one of them, and it's grown my confidence and my belief in being able to speak to people that I want to talk to. So it's not always necessarily one of the 5 things I just told you, but it gives you a framework to start. And you can pull stories relating to your accountability groups and coaching, of course, throughout them, but also talk to people about the funny stuff your dog did that has nothing to do with your accountability group. Because people don't want a walking robot that knows everything. They want somebody they can go to happy hour and chill with. Like I'm building big in Philly. That's where I live. And I love rooftops. I love happy hour. I love wine. Like, I want to build a team of girls that I can go work really hard with during the week and celebrate on a rooftop overlooking the skyline on a Friday night, because that's just me. So I talk about those things. Was that helpful? You guys got your 5? Thinking about it? I will say too, like, have fun with it. One thing that I've done with my team is Team Glow Diggers. And so you're going to share your shake, your energize, your workouts. Like, those things are still going to be part of your stories and how you share them. Like, that's kind of non-negotiable based on the 4 vital behaviors, but get creative with it. So like, I don't ever say energize. I branded it as glow juice. And the funny thing is, when I've gone on Success Club trips, I've had coaches with me and they're like, oh, Danielle, do you have glow juice? Like, or they're asking somebody else in our group of friends, and they all look at them like, what the heck is that? I even had a girl's boyfriend kept seeing, or her boyfriend's friend or something, they kept seeing glow juice on her stories every day. They wanted to know so bad what it was, they spent an hour Googling it. It doesn't exist. So it's like hilarious. But that curiosity is what you want, because guess what? They're going to reach out to her and be like, okay, tell me what this glow juice is. They're not going to go to beachbody.com and buy Energize and not have it work for them because they don't know how to use it and they don't know when to use it and all the things. You see what I'm saying? All right. So you can remember that story. Especially, I figured the guys would appreciate that. Okay. So definitely work on your 5 things. They can change over time. Like, they're not written in stone. You're not signing your name to them. They can change. But these really help my coaches know you have no excuse of not posting every day either, because you always have one of your 5 to go to and to look at your feed, which we're going to do a self-evaluation next. These are some questions I want you to think about. If I were to go to your page today, there's kind of 2 categories of questions, okay? The first category is, would I know you're a coach if I went to your page? Would I know you're part of a team? Which I know if you're a new coach, you're like, well, I don't have any team photos, and we're going to talk about that, because to me, that's a BS excuse. Quarantine doesn't stop us from connecting virtually, right? Who's taking a picture of the team call right now? Y'all are all on and posted on your stories showing that you're learning and growing on team call. Great way to show you're on a team. Would I know that you are on a journey? in the sense of posting transformation, showing your workouts, showing your progress, right? What I know that I'm invited to join you daily. And I know this is something for a lot of coaches. They're like, I don't know about inviting. It really scares me. But guess what? It's so easy to do with a poll on your stories every day. It's so easy to talk about the excitement for your next group. It's so easy to have a free platform to build a multi-million-dollar business if you get over your fears and just frickin' do it, right? Would I be curious about what you're doing, or would I be able to go Google everything you're sharing? So if you're sharing, this is my Shakeology, I drink it every day, right? They're just gonna go buy it themselves. Or if you made it like, this is my chocolate superfoods, it really helps me in the mornings when my kids are crazy because I don't have time to make breakfast and I know that I'm filling my cup first, you know, those sorts of things. Second tier of questions that kind of relate to the 5 things I talked about is, what I know you have a life. Because this is what I see coaches get into the really bad groove of doing, and I have to check myself too. Like, am I just going to your page and only seeing workouts all the time? Only seeing shakes all the time? Only seeing energize all the time? Like, no offense, y'all, that's boring AF. Nobody wants an expert. They want to work with people that are cool. And I get it. We are all in quarantine. We are all at home. We all think we're boring. But the reality is, there's somebody like you that needs to hear from you of what matters to you. Even if it's sitting in your apartment all day long and you're only doing, you know, you can only be so creative, I guarantee there is something that you are thinking about, that you are doing with your family, that you're scheduling with friends, that would be relatable to the person you want to help, right? Maybe it's braiding your kids' hair. Maybe it is, I don't know, like, this is the way to get creative with yourself. Like, I schedule workouts with a couple of my friends each week to get out of my house. So I go work out in the city outside just to like do something different. Again, it's not necessarily like I have a life because it's still related to my workouts, but there's limited things we can do in quarantine. So like, think outside the box of showing that you're a human being and you're not just like a walking robot, because that's what a lot of new coaches do. And people want to trust you and see that you're cool. All right, would I hear your voice, or are you just showing photos? The quickest way you will get less objections, you will get more people answering your messages and not ghosted, is you speaking on your stories. And guess what? If you scroll back on my YouTube from 2014, my videos sucked. I'm sure Maddie will say the same thing, which is why I know she's making it a priority to do more videos. They were terrible, okay? But guess what? Every master starts as a beginner. You gotta just start doing it and making it a priority every single day. What can I give of value, right? Tonight, I talked on my stories about the struggle is real, that I want to drink wine on a Tuesday, but I know that doesn't serve me because my workout's going to suck tomorrow. I'm going to press snooze and it will be a spiral. I know that speaks to my audience because they like wine. And I know it speaks to me and my coaching journey. So it kind of hits 2 for 1. You know what I mean? But they relate to that because they hear me speak about it. Would I be able to engage? And I'm talking kind of more Instagram stories, or if you're asking questions on your posts, right? Are you just telling, or are you asking for feedback? So like, for the girls in the group, sorry guys, you might have to think of something else creative. I know my audience likes when I ask them, should I wear this or this for this event? They love it. I get like 50 people responding. I don't really care what they think if I wear it or I don't, because I'm going to wear what I want. But I know that that's a clue for me of who's really watching my stories and who's interacting and who do I need to follow up and engage with, right? For guys, it might be, I don't know, what video game should I play tonight? Or I don't know what y'all did. What sports thing are you doing? Like, get creative with it, but keep it super duper simple. So I have a poll on my stories every single day that's kind of related to one of my 5 things. The quiz feature is also a great one. Like, what should you make for dinner, or that sort of thing. What wine should you order, or what cocktail should you order out, or meal should you order out? Would I laugh, get tips, and feel connected to you if I went to your page? Because we are light bringers. The rest of the world is like, this sucks, scrolling social media, sharing negativity, right? Like we know how the rest of the world is. So what I want to come back to your page and want more, knowing that you're always going to be a positive light. I share the real stuff. Like I share when I'm struggling and things are hard. Like I had a massive failure yesterday. I shared it and it was really hard for me. But do you know what? I got messages back saying, thank you so much for being real. Thank you so much for being vulnerable. Keep going. Be courageous. And they trust you then because you're being open and you're being yourself. Doesn't mean you need to share like your deep, dark secrets. I mean, there's some things I just don't share, right? Like for instance, I don't share what I discuss in therapy, but I talk about what I'm learning and like the way I'm applying it to my life, if that makes sense. Because that for me is just respectful for my life and boundaries that I have on my business. Same thing with dating. I'm not going to talk about a specific person unless they're like, you know, long-term in my life. So think about what you share that way that feels good to you. And as you grow, you'll be more comfortable sharing more. All right. So some of my rules when you're looking at your page, what time we got? 8:30. Perfect. Some of the rules that I kind of live by, and again, I'm not a social media expert. You won't see hundreds of likes on my page, but the people that do follow me are very loyal followers. And this is how I'm hitting SE10 every single month. Number one, if I were to see like your top 9 in your Instagram, you'll always see a transformation from me or somebody from my team. You'll always see some sort of celebration. You'll see me resharing on my stories, like my team's posts when they post things. So like y'all use each other. Y'all should all be public pages, reshare stuff and celebrate each other. If you don't have a team or challengers yet, like you're part of a team. So use the team that you have. I rotate my 5 things. So I kind of look at my page and say, what haven't I talked about in a while? I recognize like a mofo, like recognition I feel is so undervalued. Whenever I'm like, oh, my business isn't growing, why aren't my coaches doing anything? I always go back to me and say, okay, what can I celebrate? Who can I celebrate? Who can I shout out? Who can I send a card to in the mail? Who can I send a text message to and just celebrate them? Who can I shout out on my Instagram stories just because I know, like y'all know when your coaches shout you out, that feels really good. What if you treated your challengers that way and built them into the coaches that you want to have? That starts with energy. Like I know already who I'm breeding to be my next coach because they really respond well when I have that connection, right? They appreciate it. My new challengers don't expect a card in the mail with Energize or for my team Glow Juice, but they get it every time. And guess what? Those people are going to be way more willing to stay consistent on their Shakeology, to stay consistent on their performance line because they know you care. And the 400,000 other coaches probably aren't doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like the little things, they matter. Also, stock up photos. So like I don't always post real time. If I'm out and about and I look good, stock up some photos so that you always have an arsenal of like that day where you feel like crap and you don't know what to post. You can pull a picture from the behind and put it up. And okay, lastly, show the work. Y'all are a hardworking team. And one of the things I really struggled with early in my business and why I feel a lot of my early coaches quit is because they thought it was going to be easy. Because I just made it this vision of like, well, yeah, you just sign up and you do your thing and you'll just make $1,000. That doesn't, y'all know, it doesn't work that way. You have to want to do the work. And so I really encourage you to show the behind the scenes and not be bashful about getting on team calls, of working till midnight. Like obviously you need to set boundaries on your business and treat this like a business, but I'm sure most of you have full-time jobs outside of Beachbody. And so share like, these are my business hours, but then you got to back it up and do it, right? Like I've been sharing on my stories, like this is my to-do list for today. And then at the end of the day, I share like, guess what? I didn't get it all done, but these were the 3 main things that helped me move it forward. And so it's showing people what I'm doing when I get this recognition, that I have been doing the work behind the scenes. So they don't come to me saying they want to coach and think they're going to put a post up and get 100 likes and 10 people signing up, because that's not how it works, right? So don't be bashful at showing the work you're doing, but do it in a simple way. You know, one thing that Maddie and I really talked about is she was making all these cool graphics, and it's easy to look at your upline and think, wow, they've like all this recognition and it's so pretty. And I asked her, I was like, do you think your brand new coach you bring in tomorrow is going to think they can do that? And she's like, oh, no. And I was like, you're setting the tone that that's the roadmap to success, when it's not, right? The roadmap to success is inviting, connecting, being on your journey, building your mindset, recognition. That's the roadmap. All this other extra stuff is just extra stuff. So I don't do graphics until I hit Success Club. I don't, get on extra bonus trainings and watch tons of YouTube videos till I hit Success Club. Like Success Club, it should be your only thing you care about right now. I'm not creating more groups. I'm not doing extra graphics. No. Connect, invite, follow up, give value, rock your own journey, because the quicker you can get results, the more credibility you can have. And all the extra stuff, like I have a whole list, if y'all saw, like of things that I'm like, oh, I have more time because I'm on furlough right now, so I can do all this stuff. You're always going to have a list of more things you want to do. But like my team knows, first thing in the morning, I get up, I pour my glow juice, I sit down and I read for 10 minutes. I'm not checking my messenger. I'm not checking my email. I'm not diving into any of that, because that's a deep, dark hole, right? I do me first, mindset first. Then I get in and I do my invites. First activity I do, invites. Why? Because that's a business income building activity. And the more you think about it and you sit on it throughout the day, what happens? Oh, my kid got sick, or I worked late, or I pressed snooze, right? So I tell my team all the time, before I'm even press and play, my 20 invites are sent for the day. I don't even think about it. It's like brushing my teeth. I'm not emotionally connected to it. I don't care if they say yes or no, but I gave them the option to do the damn thing with me, okay? So last thing, game plan. Because it's Team Cup month. Who's on Team Cup? Everybody? Okay, if you're not, well, you're going to act like you are, because you're on a team. So number one, think about what's your goal right now. Is your goal to build your challenge groups up? Like, do you know when your next challenge group is starting? If that's your goal, your social media for the next week or two has to revolve around getting challengers. So to me, that's nutrition, workouts, accountability, showing what your groups look like behind the scenes. The easiest way I do that is like if I see a good message or something cool posted in our bod group or our Facebook community, I screenshot it, I blank out the names, and I celebrate it on my stories. Like, y'all are a part of a team. Use your team. Use the cool things that are showing behind the scenes and make them public. Same thing with objections. Like, if you have an objection in your messages, go on and speak about it. Feel, felt, found. Burn this in your brain. Someone comes to you, say, I can't afford it, right? Cool. I totally know how you feel. I felt the same way when my coach sent me that first share cart. But you know what I found? That I actually saved money on my groceries because I have a daily shake that is $4 a day. I don't have to think about meals. I spend way less time cooking. I have all these workouts that I can take anywhere. My time is worth that extra commitment to myself. And now I'm helping other people, so I'm actually offsetting my costs every month. Would you be willing to try it for a month and trust me? Feel, felt, found. It'll overcome any objection you hear. Okay? So if your goal is challengers right now, you better be given value. Challenge groups. Think about what people are objecting on. Like if you're getting cost objection, give value so much behind the scenes on why you're using these things, why they're important to you. Stories from your team. Like if somebody is coming to you saying, I have IBS or celiac or some type of medical thing, go ask in your group, hey, does anybody else have this experience? How has it helped you? And then you take that screenshot and you send it to that person, because it's just credibility. It's using your resources. All right. And if you're looking for coaches, which obviously I like to fill my challenge group first, so I really, really focus on that. Like by the 15th of the month, I'm always at SC10. If you can implement that, or whatever your goal is, Success Club 5, your life will be a lot less stressful, right? Who's hit Success Club in here before? I know Maddie, Alika, right? Y'all agree. If you're hitting Success Club by the 15th, life is so much sweeter. Why? Because you have 2 weeks after that to focus on doing the extra stuff, making sure your challengers are checked in on more frequently, helping mentor your coaches. You're not stressed out. So you have kind of that third week of the month to maybe build a sneak peek or do a getting started PDF that your coach has done. And then the last week of the month, you're not sitting around, you're hustling. Like the last week of the month, I'm hustling so that first week of the month, I'm always hitting my goals. So if you're looking for coaches, you better be shouting out your coaches on your team. You better be showing the work, like we talked about, explaining the who, what, where, when, why. Like whenever I feel stuck or I don't know what I should be sharing, think about what are the questions you're getting behind the scenes? How can you share that publicly? So like for coaches, a lot of them, they come in and say, I'm really scared to share on social media, right? So I'm going to show them on my social media how simple. I'm not doing TikTok videos. I'm not making massive edits of big graphics. I'm keeping it super simple. I'm resharing, I'm talking on my stories, I'm showing my workouts, I'm being a human being. I don't take videos and delete them when I messed up. If you went on my stories tonight, I totally said quack instead of quick. And guess what? I kept the video there because that's who I am. And it's real, right? And it's funny. Somebody's going to laugh at it and it's going to connect with them rather than sitting there refilming it for the 15th time and wasting so much precious time that y'all don't have, right? So be yourself, okay? Like if you get nothing else from this, you have permission to be yourself. And that should be like a big exhale for you because your business should be fun. It's gonna be unsexy sometimes. I don't like sending invites every day, but I do it because I know it moves me closer to where I wanna go. So, all right, your to-do list, and then I'll open it up for if you guys have questions, is I want you to send your 5 things to your coach tonight once you get off this call. And you're gonna pick one to start posting daily. So there is no excuse not to be consistent. Because again, think about it, 400,000 coaches. If I were to look at Steven's page or Alika's page, and Alika's showing up every single day, and Steven's showing up once a week, who am I gonna sign up with? Right? Consistency queen, right? So be a consistency king so that they know they're going to sign up with. Then it won't be about one versus the other. It'll be who they relate to most and who will help work with them most. Second item for y'all to do, unfollow other coaches. You might be looking at me like, how many coaches do I follow? Why? Because other coaches don't build your business. So if you only have coaches on your feed, you're spending, again, way more time scrolling through other coaches' posts and not getting to the people that you can actually build and work with. So like Maddie's page is probably public. You can go look at her stuff whenever you want once your business activity tracker is done. Sean T, his page is public. Probably don't need to be watching all his posts 24/7. Again, taking precious time away from your business. I follow one coach a quarter that I want to learn from. So say there's somebody that you hear on a national wake up call or the champions page that you really relate to. I think this is really especially good for the guys in the group because you're like, we're few and far between. Like follow a mentor that you can relate to because guys especially are going to run their social media different than most of the girls in this group. But pick one of them and start watching what they do and then start implementing things that you like that they're doing. And it'll take you a while because if you're following somebody that has 30,000 followers, right, like you're not going to do everything the same they're going to do. But this is just something that I do as part of my learning journey as a leader. And then you're going to do a poll on your stories at least once a day, which can be an invite, can be something fun about your life, something engaging for your audience. And then the last thing is no more Beachbody and all you. So think about how you can be curious with what you're doing. Every month I name our challenge group something specific to what I know our team can relate to and love. Like we're doing a free group right now, and so it's all about Can't Burn, which totally relates to everything MBF, but I'm not doing what 400,000 other coaches are doing. I'm doing what Team Glow Diggers is doing. So that speaks to my team because I know they're adventurous and outdoors and that sort of thing. So it allows me to bring the program in curiously. All right. I think that's all I got.
You guys have any questions for Danielle? She rocked it. Okay. That was nothing but truth bombs over there. Now, if you liked what she said, please give her a 1 or a yes or whatever. Like, give her some credit because she rocked what she just said to you guys. Like you know what? Unmute yourself and give her a clap. That was good. Unmute yourself. Clap for her. This was awesome. Thank you.
You did awesome.
Okay. Who has questions? Who wants to be brave? Who wants to go first?
Sorry, let me just say something. Can't Burn alone is like game change. Boom. Like I'm like, why would I ever call it an MBF challenge? And like Can't Burn or just making up my own. Love it. Love it.
And it doesn't even mean that it's taken me time, right? So like my business is a different level. So I outsource my challenge group content. And so that's already made for me. But like I pick things that relate to my team. So you start somewhere. I used to come up with all my content, but I just never use the actual test group name because that's what everybody else is doing.
I can't agree more with that.
I have a question. Do you know if when you unfollow, because you said out of the list, because I know some things you get blocked from on Instagram. Do you have to do that? Is that one of the things that you get blocked from if you do too many at one time?
Like unfollowing?
Yeah.
I've never had an issue with unfollowing. It's always like the amount of invites or friends that you're doing. If you're doing invites really fast, which I do them really fast, yeah. Sometimes Instagram will send you like, you need to slow down. But I haven't had an issue with unfollowing.
Okay.
What else you guys got?
Okay, I love how you were hitting on not mentioning Beachbody because so many people in here are worried about, they want to set themselves apart and they don't know how to do that. And truly, I believe it's all about, and even like having that purpose too. Like I truly believe branding yourself is really good, but also remembering your purpose and remembering your why. And really pulling both of those together and like sharing your why along with sharing your interest as well in that post. I think that was a really good one you pushed on. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a spouse or kids, but I like openly share that I'm doing this business because I don't want to ever tell my kids no. Like, no, we can't go on vacation. No, I can't go to your school trip. No, like those are things that I'm thinking about. And also I know relates to my audience because a lot of 30-something single girls are like freaking out about when that's even going to happen. So it hits home with my audience. So think about how you can share your vision in a way that speaks to like, going back to school. I know is a big one for kids and moms right now. So, and dads, of course, too. But think about those struggles and how you can share the vision of why you're staying up late and doing this.
Yeah, I can't agree more with that because I'll share like this one here, the reason why I do a lot of what I do. Sorry. Okay, does anyone else want to be brave? Because you have this opportunity, this amazing opportunity to ask Danielle questions. Please be brave and ask her questions because this is the only way. I'm going to tell you the most successful people ask the most questions, guys. So he's going to be the most successful person on this call. Sorry, she is. Carly, do you have any questions for Danielle? What do you want to ask her?
I love you, Mama.
Oh, I love you.
I'll take it.
Okay, who has any questions? Questions, guys.
Or like, what are you guys struggling with? Jamie, you have one? What are you guys struggling with most right now? Like,
Tom has a question. Tom's getting ready to talk. Let him talk.
I had two questions, I guess. One was just sending out 20 invites. Just how do you find the people you're going to send the invite to? And the second one was just sharing stories. I had someone tell me that I shouldn't just share everything. I don't know. That it should be, because I'm kind of doing multiple things. So they say you should have one offer when you are on the stories. One offer, join the challenge group, not I'm doing four offers, not to confuse people. So sometimes that distracts me of what to share because I don't want to confuse people. But that's it. I don't know. I don't know if that's a question, but.
Yeah, no, those are, so the first question is, the reason I'm sending 20 invites out is because I'm constantly adding new eyes to my page. So I'm shooting to add 5 to 20 people, depending on what my day looks like, to my page in the 5-3-1 method. So if you Google it or YouTube it, you can totally find out more about it. But basically, I geo search on Instagram, like restaurants, bars, parks, wineries, places I like to hang out at, hotels you've been, places you've gone, like places that you like to hang out with or hang out at, or that you visited, because those people are going to be like you. And the reason I do places is because the pictures are all public. So if I am finding somebody on Instagram that's already sharing, guess what? That's less for me to teach them when they come in and want to coach. So I really look specifically, and this probably takes like a lot of more time than you would expect. And I know my coaches struggle with this at first. That's why I say some days it's 5 people, some days I'm shooting for 20. It just depends what the places are, especially with COVID. People aren't going to as many places. But the 5-3-1 is basically I'm liking 5 of their photos. I'm commenting on 3 of them with a genuine comment that I would say to my friend on the street, and I'm following them. And so then they're coming to my page. They're seeing that I have similar interests as them. I'm in my stories consistently. I'm on a journey. I'm part of something cool. I'm super positive. And guess what they're going to do? Follow me back because they want to see what I'm about. And they're going to watch me. And when they follow me back, I have a message I send to them basically like, thanks so much for your follow. I'm into this. Like, would love to get to know you. Super simple like that. So that takes time, but I've built my page to a sense of I don't even think about it. So I make an invite that's unique to each month, and it's a copy paste. So I'm going through any of my followers, any people that are watching my stories, anyone that's liking or commenting on my posts, and they're getting an invite. But again, if you only have 100 people on your page, you really want to focus your time on building it up while still doing those activities you just won't be able to do at the 20 level right now, right? Just everybody's social media is different. So it's hard to say like, send 20 invites and you're going to hit success. Like it just depends where you're at and where you have to build. And then the stories, that's where I think it's really thinking about your month. So like first half of the month is challenge group. Second half of the month is building your team. So I'm still sharing the funny, silly stuff about myself, but yes, my transformation is going up. I don't ever put, so there's one thing I heard on the team call a couple weeks ago that the one girl does follow-up Friday. And so she starts a new group every Monday in a sense. Now, from my behind the scenes, y'all might run differently. Anybody can join my group any day. But you need to have a deadline for people to say yes, right? Because if you just say whatever, they're never going to commit. So that's why I like to do a free group the first week of the month. And then I'm hitting Success Club by the second week. And then after that, I'm solely focusing on coaching. So I would make your invites and things you're sharing your story, again, all around what is my challenge group? What are my goals? Who am I looking for? And keeping that same offer as that single one that first half of the month, but still being yourself, because those 5 things don't necessarily have to be an offer. They can just be a part of your story and letting them get to know you so they trust you and then can come and say, hey, I want to know about that thing I keep seeing you share about that you're losing weight or your people are seeing results. I want to know about that because you seem cool. Does that make sense? Great questions. What else you guys got?
And I like how you pinpointed on that, because a lot of people get confused, like with, I feel like they want to, as soon as someone DMs them, they want to pounce like a cougar and get right to that sell. And it's like, no, slow down and take your time. Like, you have to go for that invite. You have to expose yourself. Like, I went through probably 30 today. And guess what? I had one person say, hey, I want to sign up for coaching. One person. That tells you that it doesn't discourage me. It just knows that I will tell you guys that I sifted through the dirt to find the gold today. And I did. That's it.
Well,
Don't
I
be
would challenge
discouraged.
you. I would challenge y'all too. Like when you get that first yes, that like, yes, tell me more. The first question you should ask that person, cool, can't wait to tell you about my next group. Which way is best to communicate with you? Here or text message or email? The question has nothing to do about goals or challenge groups. You're not, nothing. But you want to know exactly how you can best communicate with them, because we all know, like, people ghost, they don't pay attention, they're a million miles a minute. So like asking that question first is so important, because then you know where you can get their attention best. And then you can go into, tell me a little bit about your goals, you know, what's working well for you and not working well for you, and going through that process.
That's such a good point, because a lot of times folks, it'll seem like someone's ghosting you when actually they just never check their Instagram DMs, you know, or their Facebook DMs. Yeah, it's a really good point. So Danielle, oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
So when you're inviting in that first week, you have your free challenge group the first week, and that's, you've invited folks into that free challenge group, but it's an ongoing challenge group, but you just invite in that first week. And then the second week, are you reaching back out to those people, and that's how you're hitting Success Club in the second week? Is that the process? I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, so again, you have to remember I've been doing this 6 years, okay, guys? So I do have systems set up to do this, but as a team, y'all could implement this. This is like, I've used this as bread and butter for my business since day one, but I did it with my team. So we have a Facebook group. I would like to move it to BOD groups, but BOD groups is not where I want it to be yet. But we have a Facebook group that has been built over the years that's like our sneak peek group. So I run all my free groups there. I run sneak peek into coaching there. It's kind of like, if you think about a funnel, right? So your first level is like people watching you on social media. The second tier is like people saying, tell me more. Then they're going into this sneak peek group where I have something running for like no more than a week. It's short and sweet. So I have the free group in that sneak peek group. Some people participate, some don't. But what we're doing right now is they sign up with the BOD free trial. And so I went back to like people who have never filled out their share cards, people that I know follow me, people that have said no in the past. Like, anybody's getting invited to a free group because it's freaking free. So like, why would you not do it? You know what I mean? So then I'm posting on my social media stories an update every day. Who's registered for this group? Why? Because it creates FOMO. So like, what if you did a list 1 through 10 and you showed, I'm going to fill this list? And it might scare you at first because you're like, I don't know how I can get 10 people in there. But guess what? When you put it up and you do it and you make it public, you figure it out and you find 10 people. I made my goal 20 and I'm only at, I think, 11 or 12 right now. So I still have work to do. So I run that free group the first week. My entire team participates. They're all adding people. They get access to BOD. And it just gets them a feel for things, because sometimes people just need to like actually experience it. I also give them access to our Zoom workout link, which is another fun thing. So then there's like a post at the end of the week saying, if you liked this, if you love the consistency, if you love the workouts, our August accountability group is starting next week. Talk to your coach to join. So there's like a time limit and a commitment, but it's up to that individual coach, obviously, to be talking to them throughout the week about what they're liking, what they need, that sort of thing. So that's how I'm easily, if I'm getting 12 people in that group, I mean, at least 3 or 4 are signing up, because they're mostly likely lurking in my page for a long time at this point. So then from that, my challenge groups, we have a Facebook community that's like a live Pinterest page. I go live in there, and it's been around for 3 years. And obviously we have a bod group where people track their workouts and shakes and that sort of thing. So it seems like a lot, but again, like if y'all said, hey, 2 of us, like my first 3 years of the business, I built everything with my success partner. We ran groups together. We ran team calls together. Like I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? But it pushed each of us to show like, I can do this. I just have to be more intentional. I have to be up at 5 a.m. or know when you work best. Because you can make it work. You're just going to have to sacrifice. I cut off my cable my second year in the business. It sounds silly, right? I'm a sports lover, so like I have to go to my friend's house to watch football, but I still never got it back because I knew it was a distraction for me. So you just kind of have to ask yourself, like, what do you want? What are you willing to do to get there?
Thank you, Danielle. That was really good too. And I'll tell you guys, Alika and I came in together. We didn't know anything, and we are
Stop.
I should say we are
Stop.
still success partners over here. Figuring out everything. Yes, you smell better. Sorry. Life with kids. Everyone understands. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for Danielle? Because we are almost out of time, guys, and I don't want to keep her up much longer because this girl gets up and rocks her workouts at 5 a.m. Okay.
Not 5, 6 or 7 lately, but yes.
No, you've been up early. I was on there yesterday when you were up. Okay. Any other questions? Jamie, do you want to ask her something? Thought you did.
All right, we got to do a boomerang. I got to get it to my page, and then.
Hold on, Jamie's gonna ask.
No, I don't know. I came in late, so I missed a lot.
Well, make sure you rewatch it because this was fire. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you do. You're good at rewatching videos.
Thank y'all for being here. All right, everybody smile, say hello, something. Awesome. Well, thank y'all for having me.
All right, Danielle, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And you provided so much value to this team, and we're grateful for this. So thank you so much.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. How did you guys like Danielle? Everything good?
Yeah, I found everything.